Alright, what it is, guys? News, we're back at it again with another video. And today's video is just going to be a tier list about the Espada. And just going to be a quick video. I just had a craving to make a tier list of the Espada, so I'm just doing it off of a whim. I will upload the what if either tomorrow or maybe Friday. Like, it just depends on like how it goes, but I hope to drop it tomorrow, but with that being said, I'm just going to start off this tier list with number one, and that's going to be Araniero. Obviously, the ninth Espada. He's pretty bad. Let me just get this over here. So, they're ranked by their spiritual pressure. Araniero is ninth, so he has the lowest spiritual pressure. He really only scales to Rukia. Rukia doesn't have good scaling, like Lieutenant tier. Not that good. Pretty bad, actually. So, let me delete a row. And let's see. Alright. Yeah, this should look a little bit better. The next one will be Silopero. Now, Silopero just doesn't have good speed scaling or AP scaling, which is basically the problem. He scales to Uryu, Renji, as well as Mayuri, but Mayuri doesn't really have scaling outside of just Silopero himself. Renji, you can argue he's equal to Ichigo, like Bankai Ichigo, but Bankai Ichigo then fights Grimmjow with his mask, so high-end like 5 times or 10 times stronger than Silopero. So like he's just not getting past like really anybody, and so Mari can just hit him with his Amor and just one-shot him, like just take control of him, say commit suicide, and then Silopero's dead. So that's a good segue into Zomari. Zomari saying he has the fastest Sonito, so he can just boop, boop, just like take control of them. Wish, I do have a description of it right here, that it overpowers the person, which is going to be a problem for Zomari specifically, and which is why he's not any higher, really. He's just pretty bad just because of the way it's described. So, because it's predicated on overpowering somebody, he's not going to be able to overpower Grimmjow. So, Grimmjow's just going to kill him, and he's 5 to 10 times stronger than Silopero. Silopero just gets, like, negged. So, Grimmjow's right there. Should be pretty obvious who's next, and that is Noitora. And let me put Neliel right behind him. Neliel literally lost the fight against Noitora. Noitora literally, was beating up Neliel and took a shot from her resurrection in base form. So like Neliel really doesn't have anything on Noitora. Noitora has the hardest Sierra, which doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Doesn't really matter. Hiero's pretty bad. However, it will matter if they're pretty relative to him. So Grimmjow's not going to be able to beat Noitora. Multiple statements by Noitora saying that he's stronger than Grimmjow, as well as having a harder hero. So Grimmjow's really not going to be able to do damage, and if he does, he has regen. So Noitora just solidly beats both Neliel as well as Grimmjow, putting him right there. So next will be Uchiha, and controversial like take as well, but Uchiha himself concedes that there are 3 people above him. He concedes this. There can be no victory for you. There are 3 Espada above me. If you can't really see this, oh wow, okay, it is pixelated. So my bad if you can't really see this, but in this scan it says that there are 3 Espada above me. So he himself concedes that there are 3 Espada that are stronger than him, as well as him just in general not being able to like get any higher because he's ranked 4th. So we don't really have anything to say he would be Bargon, for instance, or Yami, which I'll get to in a second. So next person I'll put in this tier would also be, funnily enough, Tier Hollybell. She's ranked 3rd, so she's pretty relative to both Stark and Bargon. Jushiro saying he couldn't really tell which one of them was the strongest. So does Shunsui, and he's like, I hope Hollybell's the weakest out of these 3. And with that, Bargon. Now you would think Bargon would be at 1 just because of his hacks. However, that's not the case at all. So Bargon does take a while to age things. We blatantly do see this, which is why he took damage against Soifun. It was an enclosed area and he couldn't really age it. It takes time for him to age things with his Respira. So if Yami or Stark just hitting him with like infinite bullets does that to Bargon's going to die. As well as Yami, him having a pretty powerful just AoE attack, just yell, and Bargon's just going to be like, oh, well, this is Soifun all over again. I just died. Well, this is pretty tough. I'll also put Stark here, as these three are very relative. So, obviously, we're like, alright, if they're that relative, they should all be in the same tier. But Stark should beat Bargon, infinite bullets, and just for the same reason, he's number 1, so he's stronger, he scales to Shinsui, so he's not slow by like any means, so Bargon would lose to him. So by extension, everybody below him would lose to him as well. Bargon beating everybody else with like Respira. And finally, number 1, not based at all, Yami. Yami himself stating that he is the strongest Espada. You nicked me, you twerp. Him literally tanking a Getsuga Tensho from Ichigo at half power. This, with a mask, him at full power, literally could kill Aizen. Aizen concedes this either 2 or 3 times, that if that hit me, you could have killed me. You might have killed me. He says you could have, you might have killed me. And you missed your chance to kill me. He says things along these lines. So, if Yami is like taking this and not really dying from this, that just shows how powerful he is. He also blatantly states that Uchiha is below him. Like, he says they're all fodder to him, as well as having the 0 tattoo, meaning that he is the strongest out of all the Espada, him being the 0 Espada. Ichigo even confirms this, saying that, I don't care if you're stronger, I'm still going to beat you down. So, that's really that. As well as for Noitora, nearly forgot about this. So, Yami, with the second hardest hero, has his arm cut off by Ichigo. I'm going to just go into real quick why hero is pretty bad. So, Yami, as the 10th Espada at that point in base, has his arm cut off by Ichigo. However, as the 10th Espada, he still has the second hardest hero. However, we have Uchiha over here, who has a weaker hero, but is stronger. So, the only thing that really matters is the spiritual pressure. This Ichigo that is stronger cuts Uchiha and barely nicks him. He's not doing damage, but he fully cuts off Yami's arm, who has a harder hero. So what matters really is the power and that's it. Like, hero is not really good, which is why Noitora is down here, because it wouldn't really matter against like Uchiha and anybody else. It doesn't really factor in, you know, not that good. But Yami, strongest, as well as the fastest. Well, you would think that Zomari would be, because he has the fastest Sonido. He self-proclaimed that he has the fastest Sonido. So, like, alright. So he has the fastest Sonido. He'll, like, speed blitz everybody. However, Zomari does get speed blitzed by Byakuya very blatantly. He gets speed blitzed right here. And this Byakuya is able to fight Yami with Kenpachi. They both, at the end of the arc, having injuries. So, while it might just be that Yami doesn't even know Sonido, can't use the technique properly, so he's just bad at it. So of course, okay, Zomari has a better Sonido, but Yami just moving is faster. This can also apply to these three, as we don't really see them use Sonido in combat. We don't really see that. They usually are just like going at them. Like, they don't really use Sonido. The only ones we really see use Sonido in an attack is Uchiha, which, well, doesn't matter. He'll just overpower like Zomari, so like his hacks doesn't really matter. So with that being said, I do hope you like this video, like new type of video. Just wanted to do a tier list. I will get into the Aranka arc with the what if, so do look forward to that. With that being said, please have a nice day, drink some water, and bye.